All right, the Rams are totally willing to go down with the ship as long as it's Matthew Stafford. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, I want to make this video because I just saw Holding Cantor, my buddy on Twitter, let me know, and Zach Meyer as well, about Kelly Stafford's podcast and how at the very beginning, right around I think the 7:30 mark, she starts to talk about Matthew Stafford, calling her on Friday, being upset, and a lot of it has to do with the pain he's going through. And I don't think it was necessarily upset at anybody with the Rams or anything, so don't take that out of context. But, I think the pain is definitely there. Now, I understand it is going into week 8. You're at the midway point of the season. Everyone is in pain. It's a long season, right? But it's not that, okay? Since the Colts game, I told you, that hip injury was going to linger. We knew that. We knew he wasn't going to be serious, but it was going to linger. And so I think that's what it's doing. I called it out in this past game against the Steelers. I felt like he just didn't seem like he was really stepping into his throws, all of his throws. I think early in the game, he's okay. And then as the game kind of wears on, he kind of gets worn out a little bit. He's still an incredible player. I think he's had a great season. I'm just really annoyed, I think, by the fact, first off, it wasn't called body weight on the quarterback. That hit from Odenigbo from the Colts has kind of changed Matthew Stafford's game a little bit. It's changed the Rams. They can't really run play action. They don't have him under center as much. They're trying to keep him in the pistol, which is still giving him the shotgun looks with the single back set. I think that's just an important thing to point out. And the reason I say they're going down with the ship, or Stafford's going down with the ship, or whatever, they're riding or dying by Stafford. They haven't gone out. They haven't gotten Carson Wentz. They haven't gotten Colt McCoy. They haven't gotten Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan. They are essentially okay with the idea that they're not going to bring anybody in to learn this offense. This is a perfect time to have somebody, but instead, no, they're going to rely on Brett Rippon, which I just have so many thoughts about. Not great thoughts. Maybe, earlier, Jake, when Brett Rippon was coming out of college, would have been over the moon to have Brett Rippon. But right now, he's just not the guy that I expected him to be. And I just don't trust him. Okay, I don't trust him as the backup quarterback. And God knows, when we'll ever see Stetson Bennett. Obviously my thoughts go out to him. I hope he's okay, whatever he's going through. The NFI, he's on the non-football injury list. I'm hoping for the best with him, but being a realist here, the Rams simply are willing to go down with the ship with Matthew Stafford being the ship. That's it. They have shown no ability to go out and get a quarterback. They are riding with Stafford and they are dying with Stafford. And if he goes down, I'm sure they'll sign somebody, but that's too late. The time, honestly, was right after the Colts game when he got banged up. The time, honestly, was even before that, when we knew that Stetson Bennett was going to go on NFI. They should have somebody learning this offense, whether it's Wentz, McCoy, Flacco, Ryan, whoever. They should have somebody learning this offense, and instead it's going to be Brett Rippon. And I don't know why any Rams fan would want to feel comfortable with that. I think basically what they're saying is if Stafford, keeps rolling, great. We have a chance at the playoffs. But if he goes down, we're not even trying. At that point, it is what it is. And so it kind of gives you, a bad taste in your mouth a little bit. But Diana Rossini's report about him, having pain, and then the pain management and all of that, not it being serious, but something to monitor. Now you have, the podcast with his wife saying that he's in pain. I mean, he's not, he just is coming off probably his worst game of his season this year, I would say, against the Steelers. But, this is something to monitor. They have a bye after these two upcoming games, Dallas and Green Bay. Just get him through that. I think he needs the bye more than anything. I think the Rams need the bye more than anything. It's going to be so crucial to finish this thing strong. But there comes a point where you got to at least look outside the organization. You know, you see guys like Will Greer getting picked up by the Patriots. Like, you should get somebody in there that is learning your system. If Rippon is the starter, who's the emergency quarterback? It's probably Cooper Kupp, right? Or Tutu Atwell. Think about that. See, there are things I like that the Rams do. And you guys know me. I'm considered the optimistic one, although you might not have read my tweets before they had their draft. The draft changed my opinion about everything because I thought it was a slam dunk right away. But I wasn't a fan of spending $75 million on players not currently on the roster. And I wasn't a fan of letting most of those guys go for nothing. However, I've come around because of the draft. It showed me, okay, this team does want to compete. They're not just throwing in the towel, and they have a plan. The problem here is that for every move that I like that they went out and got Darrell Henderson. I like that they went out and got Myles Gaskin. They have to always have a move that counteracts that. The kicker, getting rid of Brett Maher and bringing in a guy who he hit, 34 of his 53 field goals in college? I don't understand that. And then now you're rolling with Brett. You're rolling with Brett Rippon as the backup when Stafford is clearly in pain, and he's been in pain. And it bothers me that that's where we're going with this. Like, I understand you don't have unlimited cap, but like, you can't bring in Carson Wentz. I know you brought him in earlier in the year. So was his workout that bad? Did he want too much money? What's the deal? I want to know. I want to know why, you drafted a 4th-round quarterback in Stetson Bennett, and we don't have any info, like no info whatsoever going into week 8. And they are down to 2 quarterbacks, and they haven't made a move. He's not on the 53. He's on the NFI. He doesn't count against the 53. Why are you fine rolling with 2 quarterbacks? I don't like some of the things they do, and this is one of them. I think you need to be ready. Stafford went through injuries last year. He was really banged up the Super Bowl season, but he didn't miss a game. I think it was Rossini that even reported he was like 65% healthy. Look, at some point or another, you're going to have to bring in the future heir to the throne for the Rams. I'm not saying it's now, but what I am saying is you got to bring in somebody that's going to be better off than Rippon. Because last year, you got lucky that Baker became available and you were able to claim Baker Mayfield and you finished out the season. You're not going to be so lucky this year because teams aren't just giving away quarterbacks at that level. The way that whole Baker situation was very different. It was an outlier situation, just like Odell Beckham Jr. Ironically, both came from the Browns. But I think it's definitely fair to criticize it. What's going on here? If Stafford has that, if you see him limping after that Colts game, in the Colts game, he's hardly able to stand. And you're telling me now you're not even going to bring in somebody? I don't get it. We can talk about the edge defenders and doing trades and all that. We can talk about the kicker. I think the thing that needs to be discussed more than it truly is right now is the understanding that Matthew Stafford is not 100%. And there's a very, very real possibility that one hit could knock him out of the game. And since he's one hit before, away from getting knocked out of a game, Brett Rippon would be your quarterback. And if Brett Rippon goes down, you don't have an emergency quarterback. It would be Cooper Kupp or Tutu Atwell. That's not conducive to winning football. That's not being prepared. So I don't know what's going on. I do feel like this is something that I've wanted to say for a while, but now having heard that, Kelly Stafford confirmed, Matthew's in pain, the Rossini report, the pain management, the monitoring, they got to get to the bye, but there's 2 more games. Like, please, for the love of God, bring in a quarterback. Get him acclimated in this system. Look at how long it's going to take. It took Kevin Dotson 4 weeks. It took Henderson hardly any time at all. It took him 5 days. But that's a running back. What about a quarterback? You're not just going to Baker Mayfield it. You really should bring in Carson Wentz, but at the very least bring in a Colt McCoy, a Flacco, a Ryan, somebody to help, because right now they are a Stafford injury away for being stuck with Brett Rippon and no backup quarterback. And then you have to go out and sign somebody. And if Stetson's on his way, then all the power to him. I'm fine with Stetson being the third guy or backing up. I mean, he was going to be the backup. He made the 53. Rippon did not. How does that make you feel, by the way? The backup quarterback for the Rams didn't even make the 53-man roster. Just saying. Look, end of the day, they drafted a guy in the 4th round. He's on NFI right now. We have no idea what's going on. Brett Rippon's not good enough to be a backup in this league. He's good enough to be a third stringer, not the backup. And Matthew Stafford is injured, and the Rams, I don't want to say injured, but he's banged up, and the Rams don't seem to be worried about it. We'll see, but I'm already seeing, there was some drop-off against the Steelers, and if this continues to get worse, it's going to be a problem. So those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. It's just really starting to aggravate me how they have not addressed this position. We could talk, again, all we want about the edge defenders, but to not bring in a quarterback after Stafford was seen barely being able to get off the ground on his own and limping throughout the rest of that Colts game, and then on top of that, Stetson being on NFI, I don't get it. How can you only have 2 quarterbacks housed right now? I don't understand it. Hopefully this goes out to somebody who actually takes some action. I don't know. I don't think I have that much power, but you guys joke about it all the time like I do because of the Henderson thing. So, yeah, hopefully Carson Wentz is a Ram. That would be a great backup quarterback who could come in, give them some mobility, keep drives alive, keep games alive, and somebody who 2 years ago had 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions with the Indianapolis Colts. I trust him more than most guys that are available right now. So those are my thoughts. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button, and I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks.
Start playing Pick'em or Weekly Fantasy for any sport today, Jake. Users will receive a 100% deposit match up to $100 if they use promo code OTE at sign up. Start playing Pick'em and Weekly Fantasy Football today with Underdog Fantasy.
Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.